Hi guys, welcome to our channel. My name's Carla. Our channel is The Homestead Dream. We're so glad to have you here. Today we're going to be talking everything eggs. We're going to be talking about storing and preserving eggs. Our neighbors Kathy and Ray that live in the next ranch over from us get eggs from us, and Ray was over here getting eggs from us the other day, and I had mentioned to him that we were doing I was doing a video all about eggs. And so he was telling me about this technique that he had found in this really cool old book, which he lent me. Oh, this book is so awesome. Anyways, we're going to be showing you that book later. I don't know if you can see this. It's the Household Discoveries and Mrs. Curtis's cookbook. He actually lent me because when I seen that book, I was like, can I borrow your book? I know where you live. Anyways, so he lent me his book, and he and his friend had actually experimented with this technique, and it sounded really cool. So I asked him if he would join me on a video, and we could show you what they did, how they stored these eggs without refrigeration. So we're going to show you that today in this video. Okay, here I am washing my eggs. I like to wash them all in the sink because you can tell if the eggs are old. None of these are old, but if they were old, they would float to the top. So I found one, and see how this one floats? That means that one you shouldn't eat. Some people eat them like that, but I just throw those ones out. Fresh eggs are so much harder to peel because older eggs have larger egg cells. They're much easier to peel than fresh eggs. My tip for peeling fresh eggs is to put them in ice water. You just boil your eggs like you would normally boil them to whatever desired softness or hardness that you want to boil your egg, and then immediately drain off the hot water and put them in ice water, in a bowl of ice and water, and they peel so much easier. So now I want to introduce our neighbor Ray. Him and his wife Kathy have been our neighbors and friends for a long time now, and he's going to be sharing his book and how it tells how to store eggs without refrigeration.
And so the first half is like an encyclopedia, and the other half is a cookbook. But the first half, it's like a young couple's way to homestead almost. It's got everything from how to get ink stains out, to repair pipes, to butcher a hog, to preserve eggs. And
that's awesome.
And so you had mentioned wanting to preserve eggs, and I knew there was FDA guidelines from like the 1940s and earlier even. So I went to my old book here, which was this one's printed in 1908, and they ran it for I think 10 or 15 years with same version and maybe some revisions, I don't know. But I just have this copy, and in it they also talked about preserving eggs, just like the old FDA guidelines, and just like we had discussed, it's all about sealing the porosity of the eggs up. So they did things like taking a wooden box and having a finely ground limestone or talcum or gypsum or different methods, even where they put glue to seal the eggs or egg white to seal them. But so the whole idea is just to seal all the pores and make it porous so that the egg doesn't get air in it. Right. So a lot of these methods were pre-refrigeration, and some people would preserve the eggs from 9 months to a year. And like we discussed, what's the number one paramount thing is that you use common sense and be safe about it. You don't eat bad eggs, right?
Of course.
Right.
What were you saying?
If you do want to eat a bad egg, please film it, because I want to laugh at that. You know,
you're saying to put on there, don't eat. Don't forget to not eat the shell of the egg.
Yeah, make sure you crack and cook the egg and don't choke on the egg. Or don't be stupid.
Yeah.
But so even in here, they discuss there's lots of different methods of doing that. They're even making shellacking the eggs, or making a glue out of egg white to seal the egg.
That was interesting. They had like a recipe in there where they used linseed oil and some other things.
So the modern version of this is that you warm up some mineral oil and coat your hands with mineral oil so that you don't mar the coating, that the egg stays sealed.
That's what we're going to be doing today. We're going to we got our mineral oil right here, and Ray's going to show us how. So, he did this with his friend already, right?
Right. Yeah. I've done this, and I guess it's stuff you just talk about and discover you have things in common. So according to the book here, it says the object to be secured in preserving eggs is to prevent the evaporation of their contents and thus prevent the air coming in to fill the space. And then it goes on to talk about the methods we've already mentioned. So I've already done this, so I was going to work with Carla and show her the way we've done it. It's a food grade mineral oil. So all we're doing is coating eggs, and you want to keep them at a cool temperature. Basically, you don't have to refrigerate the eggs for 9 months. And my friend and I did that, and we didn't, we're very wary of this method. So what we did was we coated a dozen eggs, and every month we would crack one of the room temperature stored eggs and a fresh egg, and then we would cook them both, and we couldn't tell the difference in them at all.
Okay.
They didn't smell any different. They didn't look any different until we got to until we got to 9 months, and then my buddy ate the test egg, and I watched him eat the test egg.
You weren't going for that, right?
I ate the fresh egg, and but 9 months is a good.
That is a long time to store an egg. So that's a good. Okay, well, I'm super excited to try this, and let's get going.
I don't know why. I'll have to research that. They say warm the mineral oil.
Okay.
To very warm.
Very warm. Okay.
Yeah, like you're going to be touching it, so you
like a baby bottle warm type.
Yeah, baby bottle.
Okay.
Warm. Yeah.
And these are try to store these pointy side down.
Right.
I think I have all these pointy side down.
And you can either warm it up in the microwave or in a saucepan, and I've done.
Richard's getting all the utensils ready here.
Right.
He has the saucepan.
Right.
And he's going to pour the
so
mineral
the
oil
first step
there.
is you'll heat it up, and then we'll coat our hands, your fingertips especially, with the oil. So you'll rub it on your hands, and then it's just merely dipping the egg in the oil. Or
a lot of oil, or
how much, right?
That's probably Richard.
pretty big.
Right, and I've seen people just even recently, they just put it in their hands and rubbed it around. I like
just rub it on their hands
better because I just want to make sure that the eggs get coated.
Yeah, it gets coated a little better. They use that as a laxative too? Mm-hmm. I did not know that.
It's the smoother mover.
Oh, wow. I didn't notice that.
Yes, you wouldn't want to drink
Very
a
interesting.
diet of mineral oil.
Oh, yeah, no. So now we're just heating up the mineral oil. Hi guys, I'm here with Ray, our neighbor, and he's going to teach us how to store eggs without refrigeration. Well, now we've already washed our hands and we washed the eggs. We had to get these came freshly from the chicken coop, so you can't get any fresher than that. So what is our first step we're going to do here?
Well, like we talked about earlier, this is a way of sealing the egg from the air so that the shell's not porous anymore, so that they'll last from 9 months to a year.
Okay.
So first thing we need to do is get this warm mineral oil and coat our hands with it.
Our whole hands?
Yeah, your palms and your fingertips
Okay.
mainly. That way you're not, after you coat the eggs, you don't pull any of the oil off, and it
Okay.
stays coated. So that's all you do. So you could actually take the egg and just do this and coat it.
Okay.
But since we have a little pot here, why not just dip it and roll it around?
I'm pretty
in
sure
there.
mine's coated enough.
Yeah,
to
right.
just,
And so we'll just put them in the carton. I like the styrofoam cartons, but these will work.
yeah,
There's
we
not
didn't
much
have
on
any
them.
styrofoam, and just
So
put
that's
them in there like that?
that's it. Clean
Okay.
hands, then coat your hands and
They're
fingertips.
so slippery like this. You better be careful. I hope I
Right.
don't drop one.
Right. And so
So the purpose
Well-
of this is we're sealing the whole egg so it doesn't have any air to
Right.
breathe.
it won't evaporate.
It won't evaporate.
Right.
And that is what is the thing you were telling me about? The bloom? That's the bloom. We're
Right.
doing
Basically,
like a
there's when the egg comes out of the chicken, there's a natural seal they call the bloom.
Uh-huh.
And it's just a layer of coating over the egg to keep it from being porous.
Okay, so this is basically like we're making a
bloom.
artificial bloom.
Right. We could do one other step and float eggs, but we know that these are the freshest.
Yeah,
the fresh
these are no
eggs.
way old because they,
Right.
they literally just
Right.
laid them. In fact, she did not want to get off of that one. I had to
Right.
kind of coach her off with the.
So I've done this before, and we used store-bought eggs, and we got up to 9 months. We tested
wow!
them.
So these would probably last even longer.
Right. We tested every month with a fresh egg and our coated egg. So
Oh wow!
common sense.
That was pretty.
Common
easy.
sense will tell you when the eggs are not good, right?
Yeah, when they don't smell good, or they.
Right. Or
When
if
you
you have
crack a new egg and
right.
then one of these beside it,
Right.
and then when it looks.
right at 9 months we got a egg white that was discolored, and so
At 9 months?
At 9 months. So these might go a year, and then
Oh, wow.
the point is be practical, use common sense.
Yeah,
The
that's
other-
our disclaimer. This is an experiment. We're not
Right.
we're not telling you to do this, but this is back in the day. Ray was telling me, what was it? The FDA.
Right in the 1940s, the
Uh-huh.
FDA had guidelines on
Uh-huh.
storing these, and in the book that we discussed earlier, they had the same guidelines. So there's multiple methods. One of the methods was they took powdered limestone
Uh-huh.
and stored it in back then they had wooden crates. So they'd put a layer of limestone or salt, fine powder. And then they would put a layer of eggs on top of the layer of
And
limestone.
this was without the mineral oil. This
Right,
was just the powder.
just the eggs and the
Okay.
powdered stone or gypsum,
Okay.
and they would just put layer after layer in a crate, and basically it was sealed in the powder, so there was not much access for air to get to the eggs, so they lasted longer.
So the whole concept of this is just one method of sealing off the pores of the egg
Right,
to keep the air out and storing them.
and storing food non-refrigerated.
Yeah,
So
because what if you were in a situation where you couldn't have refrigeration or something? It would be this would be good knowledge to
Right.
have, right?
absolutely.
I would have never thought of this if.
A lot
now I
of
know.
ways to store food
Yeah.
before refrigeration.
Okay, so this is what
You're all done.
they look like. Richard, you want to get a close up of this? And then, so where should we store these in the house?
The
where it's
cooler,
not-
the better. It's
the cooler?
like
Okay.
we discussed earlier. If you had MREs and you stored
So
them
I
in a
can
hot,
close this up?
right? I
Okay.
would close that up, and Like if you had a room that's 50 to 60 degrees, that would be optimal.
Okay. I'll
You
just
know,
keep them in
you
the
just-
house.
right.
And
You
so
wouldn't
like
want
what
them
you
in
were
a-
saying, if you
don't-
have MREs, don't...
An MRE will only last a year if you have it in your hot garage.
Okay.
If you had it in a cold room like 50 degrees, it might last 5 years.
Okay.
So common sense
You'll
dictates,
last longer, yeah.
right? The cooler, the better.
And for those of you that don't know what an MRE is, it's a meal
Meals ready,
replacement.
meal ready to eat.
Meals ready to eat. They give those to the
Right.
military people
Right.
quite a bit. That's how I knew
So
about those.
we did cheese. We waxed cheese and encased them in just
I can't
store-bought
wait to do
cheese.
that. That's
So if
gonna
you
be-
want, we can do that sometime.
Yes, that we'll have a Well, that'll be an upcoming video.
Okay.
You guys will have to stay tuned to watch that. So we're gonna put our eggs away, and then we'll check it in a month, or
Sure,
every week, or
yeah.
how do we check them?
Every month.
Every
if
month.
you wanna test the method,
Okay.
I would just set these aside, and then in a month.
Okay, I'm
Have
gonna
one of these
write on them
eggs.
so I don't get those mixed up with
Sure.
some other eggs that I'm selling or something. So, yeah, okay. So we'll check these in about a month and see how they're doing and compare them with the fresh eggs. I know when you buy the eggs in the grocery store, they're already old.
Right.
I've heard they're quite old, actually.
I'm confident in this method. I'll eat the next egg.
Okay. I'm not
I'll be
confident
the-
I will.
I'll be the
I-
guinea. I'll be the guinea pig.
Anyways, I hope you liked this video, and we have some more exciting videos coming up soon of our family vacation when we went to the California Disney and California Hotel and Resort for our granddaughter's birthday or vacation. If you guys want to see that, and we have a room makeover that we've been working on. Also, stay tuned for future videos of how our egg experiment turns out and how they stored eggs in the old days without refrigeration. You never know, you might be in a hurricane or some kind of situation where you don't have electricity for a while. You might need to know some of these tips. Anyways, thank you for joining us, and we'll see you on the next one. God bless.